So Michelle,
Yeah.
my whole house smells like delightful chicken soup right now. And for once, not because I spilled a unheated can of Campbell's soup on my pants, which is usually
Yay.
the reason I smell chicken soup all day long. No, I'm doing some home cooking, of course, because we live in a cold, barren universe where nothing we do matters and there is no love. The one day I finally make chicken and dumplings, it's like 47 degrees outside. It was like 29 degrees every day this week while I was eating my friggin' Taco Bell and stuff. But the moment that I make a nice hearty chicken and dumplings, I had to like drive with the windows down when I went to the UPS store. So
Wow.
yeah. Speaking of which, I feel bad. Well, it wasn't even a UPS store. It's the UPS customer center, which is different from a UPS store. I felt really bad for those dudes. Have you, you and I don't think on the show, but you and I have talked about that UPS store or that UPS customer center because it has the nicest guy in the world. Like the guy who's like so fun to talk to. He was there. He didn't recognize me because I was wearing a mask because I was robbing the place. And he, no, but it's hard. A lot of people have trouble recognizing me with the mask.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at first, which just goes to show you how much people actually do look at your face and not at your clothes first. I mean, I've had people literally take a second to recognize me that I've known for years because of the damn mask. It's my winning smile, but no, like I've went to this. So UPS customer center is actually just a UPS hub where they sell UPS postage in a front room, but otherwise they're a hub. Like you have just as many people there to buy postage as you do people who are like, hey, you guys attempted delivery of a package at 6 a.m. or whatever. Is it here? Can I pick it up? You know, and then they'll tell them, like the person ahead of me, literally that was what they're saying. The guy was like, actually, let me check. And he was like, hey, it'll be back here no later than 6 p.m. and we're open till 9 for pickups. And they were like, oh, great, thank you. And he was like, no problem. You know, it's a great place to go. The negative is because what makes it not a UPS store is that they don't sell boxes and tape and packing supplies. They don't sell anything but postage. So, and they don't accept cash because they don't keep cash there because it's a very, you know, it's a slimmed down operation. Most of the people that come into there are just setting down a box that's done and they're like, thanks, you know, and they leave and that's it. In fact, that's most of my relationship with the people there. The last time I was at that UPS to spend money and ship something was when I overnighted the master copies of Boggy Creek, the series, to the producer and distributor. Because you know, it was the whole series was, now granted we had copies, you know, we had duplicates, but I was still shipping like the master files off. So we sent it overnight UPS. But I remember being there and thinking, I actually wrote a letter to UPS about the store, about how good it was. I mean, email. I didn't write a letter. I didn't sit down with paper, Michelle. I didn't sit down with a pen and paper like you would do.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't do that.
Because I don't care enough. No, because I have terrible handwriting, like truly abysmal handwriting.
No.
When was the last time you had to read my handwriting?
Sometimes you send me stuff and it has your handwriting on it.
Yeah, but then if I want to say something important, I type it instead.
I think your handwriting is fine.
Because I typed that letter I sent you on Christmas, right? Yeah, that's because that's the real Henrique is typing. When I was a kid, like when I was very young, my teachers and stuff used to always be like, why don't you like take notes? And I'd be like, I can't because I hate writing with my hands. And people, like when I work on movies and stuff, they're always so annoyed because I'll take all my notes on my computer or on my phone. Like I just don't. I do have little pieces of paper in my office, like Post-its, but they have like one word that is like a code. Like on this corner of my screen, there is a guy's name with no context. And I know exactly what that Post-it is supposed to remind me of.
Well, I mean, it is someone's name, so I hope.
Well, but I remember like why their name is there and what I need to
Mhm.
remember to do for them
Okay.
or to them. And I mean, we all have our list of enemies and no,
Mhm.
but no, I've always been a digital note keeper. You like to write, don't you?
Yeah. Um,
That's
yeah.
that's what you have. Yeah.
That's what else do you want? Yeah, I like to write. I find typing like really stressful. Not
Yeah.
not really stressful, that's not true, but I'm not a
Mhm.
very good typer. I'm not very fast. And
Did you have typing in school?
yeah, but it didn't work.
So when do you remember what year you took typing?
No, but I think it was either like in middle school or upper elementary school because things were different back then.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't take typing in high school?
No, no.
Wow. And you're older than me slightly. I mean,
Yeah.
we had typing, we didn't even have a typing class. We had a computer something or other class, is what it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
called.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't specifically
It
typing.
was like
Yeah.
word processing and something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I have plenty of funny stories about that class, though. We had a teacher who I will not name because I just realized it would be slander. And but we had a teacher who I wouldn't say this lightly because I'm like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was on cocaine. His eyes were always red. His nose was always like red. He was always sniffing. And I mean for weeks and weeks and weeks. And when kids got out of hand, he was so aggressive. And it got to the, oh, sorry. Say,
No, it's okay.
no, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say maybe he just had really bad all year allergies and he was angry about it.
It could be. I just remember thinking like, what is wrong with this guy? And then one of my friends went, dude, he's a cokehead. And I was like, oh shit, he's totally a cokehead. And then I started thinking like, wow, you're a computer skills teacher and you can afford cocaine.
Wow.
There's this movie I like called Bloodletting that I used to watch. It came out in the 2000s, and there's a scene where a guy is talking to a girl and she offers him some cocaine, and he goes, "No thanks. I try not to do any drugs that cost more than my car." But but no, but that's not even the best part about that class. The best part about the class was that the teacher didn't really know anything about computers. He did know how to type and stuff, which was most of what we did was, do you remember, how did they use a thing like, because we had quick ask Zoe. That was how we remembered the numbers. Like, look at your keyboard in front of you. See, it's quick ask Zoe. What stops x-rays? Even dogs can't. Red fish vanish, then grow bigger. I don't know
You
if I remember
know,
the rest.
you're
What?
doing all this and I still have no idea where I'm supposed to put my hands.
Oh, well, you put your fingers on the home keys.
Uh,
But I was just saying, like, see how there's a Q, how the Q, look at the Q.
Yeah.
Below it is A and Z. Quick ask
Oh, we
Zoe.
go that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
quick ask
Yeah.
Zoe. What stops X-rays? Even dogs can't. Red fish vanish, then grow bigger. Oh God. I don't remember what YHN and UJM are.
Damn.
Uh, I know UJM is under Jim's mattress, and then I keep commas over long periods. Peanuts. That was how we were taught.
I don't think I learned that way, but I
Oh,
don't remember any of it.
YHN was yaks hear noises.
Okay.
Well, you gotta, Michelle, this is the thing that, the people listening, they don't hang out with me as much as you do. So they don't know how obnoxious it is that I almost always remember everything I've heard, including like, that was a class like 20 years ago that I wasn't even paying attention to. And I remembered all of that, but I did want to learn how to type because, I already was like living on the computer, hanging out on MSN and AOL Instant Messenger. And
Uh-huh.
don't you miss aim away messages?
Yeah.
Don't you
I
wish
do.
sometimes you could just put up an away message?
And the people would look at it and go like, "Wow, she's deep." Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
you could put
song
up an away
lyrics.
message about yeah, song lyrics were a big thing on away messages.
Yeah.
You'd have like I'm not here, or, I'll be right back, but then under it was like song lyrics or whatever, trying to be funny and
Yeah.
but So me and a couple of my friends in that class, we knew a bit about computers. My buddy in that class, who was actually like, I lucked out. He was in that class. He was like my buddy who lived down the street. He was like the guy I hung out with for most of my teens. He knew a lot about computers because his dad was a computer programmer. So they had this program on the computers called Foolproof. Mm-hmm. Which is a security program to keep you from, using programs you're not supposed to because you're there to learn or accessing the internet. They had this thing called Foolproof. Well, one day my buddy comes in and he's just like, dude, my dad told me how to stop Foolproof. And I was like, what? And he's like, it's not even that good of a program. It's just a program. It's not actually like a security program. It's just a program. Oh. And I was like, well, then what are we doing? He's like, there's this search box because you couldn't access tons of stuff on it. He was like, there's this search box that it doesn't stop you from using, and the search box allows you to see all of you search C drive and then it just shows you the C drive, but unlike the window that shows you the finder and everything, you can delete stuff because they didn't control it. So all we would do is we would open that up and we'd go to foolproof.exe, delete it, and then restart the computer, and then it would fail to operate. It'd fail to activate. A little thing would come up as the computer started up that would say like foolproof.exe not found, and then the computer would just start up normal. So then we would be like listening to music on the computers, and we would get on the school network. But my favorite was we used to do weird things to our computers and act like we didn't know why they were doing it. It was the best. We figured out that if we opened up PowerPoint, and we made a PowerPoint presentation that was just one frame of white and one frame of black, and we set it to loop, so it would always loop. Yeah. And then we set it to to change frames by every time you hit the space bar. We had it like set like that. Mm-hmm. We could make the space bar stick, and our computer would just be flashing black and white, like insanely fast, like dizzyingly. And we would just be like, teacher, I don't know what's going on. And the computer would just be having like a complete epileptic fit. And he'd be like, what the? And he'd like be touching it. He'd have no idea what to do. Oh, wow. The other thing was we figured out that after we removed Foolproof, that there were all the sounds that come with Windows, like you remember how you could like set it like, oh, when my computer shuts up, I wanted to play a monkey sound or whatever.
I think so.
Yeah. They just had stuff like that. So we would access them and we would just play them full. I didn't do it as much as some of the other kids would play it full volume out of their speakers. So like the teacher would just be talking and you hear, like super loud, and everyone would laugh. And the best part was the folder was locked, so he couldn't like delete the files they were opening to stop them from doing it. All he could do was issue detentions. Wow. But they would stop once he started threatening detentions until the next day when they would start doing it all again.
Wow.
It got to the point where we were playing Doom next to each other, me and my friend in the class, because Foolproof wouldn't run, and we would just hit Alt Tab, so that it would go down and be back to what we're supposed to be looking at. And we used to this is the best part. I don't want to talk about this forever, but this got me really excited because this is a story of my foolish youth. And thanks to lockdown, I've thought a lot more about my youth than I ever have before. And they're not all happy stories, but this one I consider a very happy story. Because the teacher didn't know anything about computers, when he was walking by our friends who we knew were playing video games or whatever, because we were passing around CDRs that all you had to do was click on them and they started playing right off the CD. We would yell at each other, Alt Tab, Alt Tab. And he didn't know what it meant.
That's really embarrassing.
Yeah. And he wasn't a substitute. He was the typing teacher. He was the computer skills teacher. Which, by the way, I say all this to mention, and I think I have mentioned this on the show, that was one of the 2 classes in my entire school career that I actually think taught me something valuable. Because I did learn how to type. And what's funny is because I'd like lived on my computer thanks to AIM and stuff like that, I used to hunt and peck without looking and only have like some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
because I just got, muscle memory of just type, 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 type. So it was interesting to switch to the quick ask Zoe method and just like type, 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 type. I also remember being really frustrated because I had a Macintosh at home and the starter keys are different. they're
Yeah.
and I was like, oh God, what am I gonna do? I guess just move them over slightly. Oh, so but did you have anything eventful in your typing class? I'm guessing it was
Oh God, no.
not quite as exciting.
No, but we did play Oregon Trail sometimes.
Oh, we played that
And
in school, yeah, in elementary school.
that's literally all I can remember
Dun,
of
dun,
it. And that I don't know how to type. That's
dun,
it.
dun. You don't know how to type?
No, I mean I can type with my hands, but I don't know what I'm I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to think about it because
You mean you don't know how to type without looking?
no, I do know how to type without looking.
Oh.
But I don't know like the home keys. Like I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I just had to learn on my own by myself because I didn't understand.
Well, I'm sorry that it's been so hard on you.
It's okay.
But I'm glad that you like to write because handwritten notes are so nice.
Hmm.
My problem is if I'm handwriting anything, it's not only going to be hard to read, but it's going to be like not thought out well either because like when you type, you really get to think. There's no hesitation because you can just backspace.
Yeah, I
As
mean
opposed
that's
to like when you have to
definitely true.
scratch letters out and stuff, and I feel so stupid. I'm like, great,
Oh.
now they know I used the wrong there. I meant to say there. Damn it. Uh so I've just always been, if I'm writing somebody a meaningful note, I type it up and print it because it's like I just don't know. But
Mm.
you also are a drawist. So
Yeah.
you like to draw.
Yeah.
So I was a bad I so you want to hear something really sad?
Oh, maybe.
No, when I was a kid, I loved drawing so much.
This
I
is
I
already really sad.
I literally would fill like books and like spiral bound, notebooks upon notebook upon notebook with just drawings.
Mm.
Drawing after drawing after drawing after I mean like because I found a couple of them years ago, but I couldn't believe that like these like 128 page things or whatever were full.
Yeah.
I was like, I drew that much? I never improved. I never got better. I was such a bad drawer. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be, I mean, I'm laughing about it because it's sad. Because I just can't believe that I put so much time and effort into like drawing better and the drawings were terrible. I used to go everywhere with a notebook so that I could draw.
Maybe you needed like classes.
You mean maybe I had no talent?
No, that is not what I meant.
Go on.
No, I mean like maybe you could have benefited from like a figure drawing class or like a thing where you draw apples.
I used to sit and try to draw like the sink
Mhm.
and it would look awful. It was
Really?
just the worst. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, it's weird like cuz it's not like it's one of those things where like it's I can't even like I'm not smart enough to give advice about that stuff. It's
Sure.
more like it's like but you just draw the thing. It's right there. You just make the lines. And apparently it's not that simple. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, like for me, what blew my mind, the entire reason I'm bringing this up is not because I want to learn to draw or anything.
If you do,
Um,
I could pretend that I know how to teach people.
but the reason I bring this up is that I couldn't believe that I wasn't discouraged sooner. Like
Oh.
it took me like a year or two to just be like, yeah, I'm not going to draw on this notepad anymore.
Oh.
Like that's all. It's just like, I don't know why I wanted to draw. Well, I do know why I wanted to draw so bad because I was obsessed with cartoons, with like Nickelodeon cartoons and stuff.
Mhm.
I remember my favorite drawing I ever drew was a football. It was on Halloween because they would let us draw on Halloween. And I drew a football player. I mean, he looked awful, but I drew a football player, but he had no head. And
Oh.
and he was kicking his head into a brick wall like a
Oh.
football.
That's cool.
I thought it was so cool.
It was cool.
So cool. It looked awful though. One of these days I'll draw. I made the horrible mistake of sending you a drawing that I did. I tried to draw you.
It's totally fine. It looks like me.
It's really, I don't even remember it. I don't want to remember it.
It's on my refrigerator.
Oh my God. Is it under a magnet that says like you did your best with like a thumbs up that isn't all the way up?
No.
Like that, like what was that Futurama hang in there, baby? And the thumb is just like not even up. I love that you put it on this is gonna go right on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where your cards are. They're on my refrigerator.
Yeah.
I recently got fed up with all the shitty magnets I had, so I bought those like insanely powerful disc magnets that actually have like a finger warning on them. When you open them, it says like warning, will damage your fingers. Well, because I kept having like I'd open the fridge door and things would fall out, so I walked up to like every card, because there are some cards I have that I'm like extremely sentimental value about. I don't want them to ever come off my fridge, so I would just take these little discs of magnet and just snap, and it's like, well, that's not coming off the fucking fridge anytime soon, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around no mo. So, but oh wow, that was.
You wanted to talk about the letter, yeah.
I wanted to talk about the UPS store, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about the letter that you wrote to them because they were so good.
Oh, yeah, to UPS, to the UPS corporate. Yeah. So I came in one time with some stuff, and I didn't know that they weren't a UPS store. And no joke, the guy was like, "Well, let me see." And in a big empty side of the room in the corner, he just had discarded boxes and packing material for just whoever needs it. And I was like, man, this place is great. And the guy was super nice, and he like got me all set up and he got it shipped out. Also, every time I come in and drop something on the box, I say like, it's all set. And he's like, it's already out of here. Like that. He's just fun. I like him.
Yeah.
I gave him a candy cane one Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
And he was very appreciative. So, wow. I don't know how that turned into talking about that typing class is really wow. Michelle, you didn't even comment on my new glasses.
They're really nice. Yeah.
I like them. They're a little tight. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
I mean, tight. They're tight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're tight.
They're tight. Like they hurt my head. They're tight. But no, so well, today's been a bit of an adventure, and you were able to participate in it because you were being really cool and being flexible about when we could sit down and record the show, because I had like everything in the world to get done today. So and it all culminated with the UPS store and then coming home and starting the chicken and dumplings, which I'll enjoy on the warmest day ever.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I told you about how I accidentally left my furnace off, right? All night.
Yeah.
On like a freaking really cold night. So I shut my furnace off when I record Weekly Spooky. And I don't know why I didn't remember to turn it back on, because what I usually do is my furnace is, behind like a sliding door thing, a metal sliding door thing. And it's always closed, and I walk by it to go to the bathroom. So I just leave it open if the furnace is off, because then I'll go, hey, wait a second, turn it back on. But I must have closed it from habit or something. But I love that. I usually keep my house at around, I like to keep it at like 66 or 67, but my mother will yell at me. I mean, she doesn't live here, and she'll yell at me for keeping it low. So I've been keeping it at 69, 70. Because that's where she says to like keep it. She's like, keep it there. Also, we had that pipe issue, and she's afraid it'll get too cold. So we're just like, but so I just love that my mom's like, is like controlling the thermostat, and she's not even here.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't live here. She hasn't lived here in 15 years in this house. But like, so I wake up in the morning and literally I slept like a log. But I wake up in the morning and I like get out of bed and I like put on my robe, and I just like, oh, it's a little cold in here. And I go and let the dogs out, and then I'm like, I'm going to check the thermostat. I look at the thermostat. It says 53 degrees.
Wow.
But I just love that my stupid body is just like, oh, it's a little cold. It's like, well, it's, I I don't know math very well, but that's like a lot of degrees less than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like almost 15-ish, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot colder than it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. So yeah, I felt really stupid.
That's okay.
Have you ever, you probably, I mean, why, see, most people, why would they ever shut their furnace off, in the
Yeah.
winter?
I mean, plus I don't have forced hot air, so it doesn't make the same sound that your furnace makes when it comes on. It's very, very quiet, sort
Oh
of.
yeah, what's you have, what do you have?
I have radiators, like I have a
Radiators, yeah,
boiler.
like old
Hmm.
school. That's
Yeah,
old
so
school.
they just get hot. They just get hot, and then Biggs lays on them. That's it.
Until she hears a sizzle, then she gets off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah, my heater is really loud. Unfortunately. It just is. So
They forced hot air, they're just
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
loud. In this room where I record, it's not super loud,
Mm-hmm.
but but then it's inconsistent because it'll kick on and kick off and kick on and
Mm-hmm.
kick off. So plus the office room in my house is like the warmest room in the whole house. So if I shut it off and record a podcast for 2 hours, I don't care. Like, and the
Mm-hmm.
dogs don't care because they brought fur coats with them. So that was the funniest part. The dogs don't give a damn. They're like mountain dogs. They're just like, yay, let's hang out in the frigid air. Yay.
Yeah.
Um Speaking of, I feel like this show is mostly about my dog's experiences at the vet because my God, I feel like I'm always at the vet. Hen Wolf had a growth on her ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared me very much and upset me very, very much. So I took her to the vet and it's fine. It is,
Yay.
I forget the name, but it's a tumor full of fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's weird.
well, I was scared because she's prone to cysts and growths and tumors, but they've always, knock on wood, they've always been benign.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where we don't get shocked when she has a new growth on her skin because it's just normal. She's
Mm-hmm.
just a tumory dog.
Yeah.
Um, but this one was like attached to her ribs, and I'd never had her have something like that. It was always like obviously in her skin,
Yeah.
not against
Yeah.
her. So the vet took a needle and took a little bit of the goop from inside the growth out, and immediately said, "This is fat because this is a fatty
Mm-hmm.
tumor." So, in fact, she brought the slide out to me and showed me. She was like, "I looked at it under a microscope, but I didn't even need to." She literally said, "Because look, it looks like olive oil. Like it just slides. It wants to
Yeah.
slide off the slide because it's just pure fat."
Yeah. Ooh,
So,
dog fat. Huh.
dog fat, a delicacy. Um, but so Wolfie's doing very well. I was very scared that she wasn't going to be well.
Yeah.
I get paranoid because I got them older,
Yeah.
you know? That's all. That's why I get scared, you know? That and because I'm a stress pot.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't help probably.
I mean, it probably doesn't help. So, I want to go back to talking about drawing.
Oh, okay.
When did you first start drawing?
I don't know.
You have to know.
No, I don't know. I guess I've just been drawing forever. Like literally, I don't know. I mean, when was
You were
I
just
not?
so naturally good at it compared to
No.
me
Oh
that
yeah,
you were
totally.
just
I was always really good at it.
well, okay, here's I mean, I know that you can't literally pinpoint the moment you started drawing because I'm not even a drawer and I can't pinpoint the moment I started drawing before I stopped. I can't even
Mhm.
pinpoint when I stopped exactly either. So, I mean, I'd still doodle in notebooks and stuff,
Good.
I guess. In textbooks, you draw a little.
Yeah.
I used to do, this is terrible. I used to draw in my textbooks,
Mhm.
on the little top corner. I used to draw a clock, like with and so it was a flip book. It would like go through,
Oh, okay.
but I got that from Pete and Pete.
Oh.
There was an episode where Pete saw a clock go moving in a flip book in his textbook, and he kept flipping it and flipping it and flipping it.
Mhm.
And before he knew it, the class was over and he hadn't heard anything the teacher had said. And because of that, he was getting ready to fail a pop quiz.
Oh.
And then the best part is he finds out that the guy who's the janitor at the school got that same book, and the same thing happened to him, and it ruined his whole life because he
Oh
failed that one pop
no.
quiz.
Oh no.
So Pete and Pete, baby.
Yeah.
But do you remember like things you were really into drawing? Did you draw like things out of your imagination, or did you draw like cartoon characters you'd already seen? You know, like what was little Michelle scratching off?
It was it was pretty just similar to me now. Like I didn't draw, I drew a lot of just like I like made up characters a lot and
Like
just drew
really
them.
sad characters?
No, they weren't that sad yet, actually.
That
So I guess
came
it's true.
later.
Yeah, exactly. That yeah. But yeah, I mean that was my thing. I like to draw like little characters and stuff like that. And
You draw like did you have like any characters you remember that you drew?
like I no, they were like little princesses for a while or something. I think they were princesses. I don't remember.
She's laughing because I laughed and pointed at her silently. You draw little princesses?
I guess. I mean, I don't remember like what they were exactly. Like they weren't like just regular people princesses. Like they had special powers and stuff.
Oh yeah, like
Normal stuff.
princesses, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh I I I I I could tell you the character I created that I used to draw, and it's really dumb, and you're
All
gonna
right.
hate it.
No.
Oh god, I can't even believe I'm remembering this. I should have like blocked this out in some kind of a therapy. Uh no, I liked superheroes when I was a kid.
Mhm. Oh.
Especially the X-Men.
Mhm.
I used to like struggle to draw Wolverine, but it wasn't that hard because of the weird, the
Yeah.
curled up swoosh thing from his eyes. So I could draw him and be like, that's Wolverine. And I remember I used to sit um in my bedroom when I was a little kid with my VHS tape of X-Men, and I used to pause it so I could like look at them to try to like draw, you know, how they were shaped. I remember
Yeah.
because one time one of my mom's friends showed me how to draw muscles by just drawing like kind of like art like C's, like
Mhm.
wide C's, letter C's, to make like kind of look like muscles. So I was drawing like these muscly superheroes. And I drew, oh god, I'm so embarrassed because I remember I would draw Spider-Man, but I got too frustrated by how long it would take to draw the web on him all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So I invented my own superhero,
Uh-huh.
the stupidest superhero ever. Like even by child standards, I should have been arrested
Oh.
and put in some kind of a re-education camp. But I'm building it up a lot because I can't believe I'm even gonna tell anybody. Because like
Oh.
this is the few people who listen to this and you are gonna be the only people who know about this because I'm gonna
Oh.
take this to my grave. I drew a superhero. And he had like a circle design thing on his chest that said EPM.
Mhm.
Oh god. EPM stood for every power man.
Oh, wow, that's really good because then he can just do
He could
anything.
just do anything.
Yeah.
So that way, no matter what I drew him in, he could just do whatever. He could fly, he could have super strength, he could have laser vision, he could have freezing breath,
Mhm.
x-ray vision.
But okay, so just question, follow-up question. How about how old were you when you were drawing every Power Man?
5, 6,
Okay.
7, maybe a
I
little
think that's
older.
I think that's totally acceptable
Last
because
week.
yeah, I
Uh,
mean if you still draw him, it's okay. If you want, I could draw him for you.
oh my god. Uh,
No, I mean, I understand wanting a like that kind of superhero though, because it would just be fun, you know?
it wasn't fun. He had like a very dark backstory. His mother and father had fled to Central America in order to escape the Nazis, but they were captured by the drug cartel and sold into heterosexual slavery. So every Power Man was left wishing he had the one power that really mattered, the
Whoa.
power to go back and to when he was a child and save his parents.
Yeah.
But then he did have that power because he has every power.
Yeah.
So he went back in time and realized that he'd forgotten that when he was a child, he was the one who sold them into
Killed them?
heterosexual
Oh my
slavery.
god.
Right?
Oh my god. I like that it's heterosexual slavery. I don't know what that
I
means.
misspoke. I meant to say homosexual slavery. Or homoerotic slavery was what I meant to say.
Oh.
I actually said heterosexual slavery. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the dark and gritty reboot of Every Power Man coming very soon.
I actually really like that. The like, oh, I'm the one who did it. I just blocked it out. And then the
That's
movie
a
just
twist.
ends. Yeah, and he just goes, oh, and then that's the end of the movie.
Oh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, if you want the comic rights to Every Power Man, I'm sure I can make you a deal. Why did we just stomp all over my child? Good though. You know, it had it coming.
It's totally a reasonable superhero to make. I don't understand. Like
literally by definition, it's unreasonable.
You think it's unreasonable for like a 5-year-old?
Yes.
I was drawing like little princesses with like ocean powers. Like, what do you want?
I was asking my mother about life insurance quotes for myself when I was 5.
Oh, okay.
I was a weird little adult kid. Did I ever tell you that story about when my mom asked me what I would do with the money I'd inherit when she died? Because my mother's morbid. I don't know if you know that. My mother's a very morbid woman. And she asked me that when I was like 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, you know, but she was being playful. She wasn't like, what are you going to do when I'm gone? What are you going to do? But she was just like playing around. And she's like, so what are you going to do? I mean, when I'm gone, like I would leave you my money. What are you going to do with it? And she's the one who told me the story. I don't remember it. She's the one who told me this, but she said that I sat there and I thought, and then I said, probably mutual bonds. I'm sure I heard it on television.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not actually saying I was like some like boy genius. But then the funniest part is that mom said, why mutual funds? And I guess little 8-year-old Damien from The Omen me turned to her and said, because they're less risky than traditional stocks. My mother's told that story for years, and apparently it's true.
Well, good. Be responsible with your inherited money.
That's the thing. I got less reasonable and less responsible the older I got. I did the backwards. I was like, when I was 4, I wanted to be a doctor, you know, and by the time I was 16, I was like, I want to be a filmmaker. It's like I'm working my way up to cowboy and astronaut. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Like maybe a marine biologist for a while.
Okay, good. I'm glad I wasn't the only boring child with no dreams.